There are two minds inside of you right now. The first mind is your programming. It's your wiring. It's the unconscious, automatic, and deeply, deeply efficient mind. It was actually built for survival, not for leadership. It's the part of you that reacts, that seeks comfort, that runs from discomfort. It's the voice of your past. It's your unconscious mind. The second mind is your consciousness. This is your awareness. It's the intentional, deliberate, and often difficult mind of the designer. It is the part of you that can see the pattern, that can choose a different response, and that can build a new future for you and your daughter. Every moment of your life as a father is a battle between these two minds. And at any one time, the one that you feed is the one that wins. Today, we make the invisible war visible.
Your daughter doesn't need a perfect father. She needs one committed to being better. Welcome to the First Hero podcast, where girl dads break harmful cycles and build impactful legacies.
Welcome to the First Hero podcast. I am your bald host, Corey, and this is your other bald host.
What's up? I'm Baldy number 2, Rich.
Rich. Yeah, and today we're going to talk about something very exciting, something that's I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. And I'm going to try not to get too excited and take this too deep, but we're going to talk about the operating systems, the two operating systems that are running your life 24/7 in the background, operating quietly, but also operating very loud and clear. It's the two operating systems. It's your unconscious mind and your conscious mind.
Yeah, and before we jump into specifically the unconscious mind, or what we refer to as the drifter, Napoleon Hill refers to it as the drifter.
Yeah.
I want to just give the audience a little background because
exactly.
This is really the core of personal growth. And when we built this brand, the passion that we had around improving ourselves as fathers and sharpening ourselves as fathers was so much of this. It was all built on the foundation of recognizing the relationship between being introduced, really, from when we started taking NLP classes together years ago, being introduced to the connection between unconscious mind and the conscious mind, and just how powerful all of that bridge is, and how to manipulate those bridges and create those bridges and tear down bridges and patterns and everything that goes into it. So this is, if you're someone who is seeking growth truly, this is a core principle that you have to understand. And if you expect greatness out of your legacy as a father, you better buckle up, because you have to have an intimate understanding of these two concepts.
Because you're fighting biology, you're fighting nature, and nature's always going to win, right? The difference so Rich and I were master practitioners in neuro-linguistic programming. That was the first dose of reality check that I had years ago, like 3 years ago. I remember Rich and I, we were sitting in class, and it was like, we didn't want to go to this class, and we were
it was a 3-day class.
It was a 3-day class, 8 hours. Like, dude, we're busy. We have a lot of shit to do. But like, if this class is whack, we're giving it 15, 20 minutes. If it's whack, we're out. And literally, like, the first 10 minutes, they dropped all this shit, and Rich and I looked at each other. We're like, oh my God, we need to be here.
They were dropping bombs,
dude. So that led to the whole journey of self-improvement, and actually where we're at today. I take a big thank you to Dr. Matt James over at Empowerment Inc. for really blowing our minds. But really, this is the battlefield. This is the arena, guys. This is the left and right limits. This is your operating system. It's just like a computer. It's kind of like a computer. Mac, Windows, that's an operating system inside of your laptop. And you can't go outside of it, right? There's limitations. You are the laptop. The operating system is your unconscious and conscious mind. Your brain is a receiver, right? It's an organ. It's supposed to do some things. And to really, like, this is the seed, this is the root. I know Rich, we talked about root problems in previous episodes, but this is the very root. This is the soil, right? For that lets the roots and the flowers grow, right? If you do not understand the importance and the role of the unconscious mind versus the unconscious mind, you're fighting an uphill battle. You're fighting nature.
You're fighting an invisible enemy.
Yeah.
And literally, if you look at our logo for First Hero, the sword represents not a battle against physical, it's a battle against mental.
It's the daily battles you go against. Yeah.
The arena, the battle, the battleground of our minds as men, because that is That is the core.
Yeah.
Everything else flourishes from whether you win or lose on that battleground first.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
So-
And we have a lot of symbology in our logo, by the way, which
Yeah.
we might get to later. But
Another episode. But
yeah,
let's dive
so
in, man.
yes,
The
let's dive
unconscious mind.
in. Let's get on proper definition of terms first. So, you know, let's define unconscious versus conscious. So the unconscious is the automatic responses that you are unaware of throughout the day. So this is like, you know, to get surface level, your breathing, your digestion, the information that you're receiving, right? This is all
Driving a
unconscious,
car.
right? Driving a car, you know, brushing your teeth. A lot of this stuff is, well, that kind of sits in the subconscious. So there's grades. There's conscious, subconscious, unconscious, but I chalk it up to conscious and unconscious. I don't want to,
Yeah,
like, we're
let's
not
keep
going to
it
get it
simple.
like, yeah, we're going to keep it super simple, right? So unconscious is all the things that you don't think about. And the conscious mind is what you're actively thinking about. This is what you're like putting conscious effort to. And your brain, the body is very efficient. So it doesn't want to burn a lot of energy. So it doesn't really give you a good window of what you can focus on, right? What you can consciously focus on is very limited. And it accounts for about 5% of our activity daily. So studies show that all of our activities in a 24-hour period, 95% of it is unconscious. Only 5% of what we do is conscious. So if you think about that in the terms of parenting and being a girl dad to your daughter, 95% of it's unconscious.
That means 95% of who you excuse me, that means 95% of who you hope to be tomorrow is going to be the same as today.
It's already programmed.
If you're not
right.
reprogramming.
If you're not reprogramming, if you're not taking the steps to actually like, okay, this 5%, I'm going to focus on shifting that 95%. Does that make sense?
Versus the 5% where people are like, oh, I'm going to be different tomorrow. I fucked up today as a dad, but tomorrow is going to be different.
Yeah.
That's trying to win a battle for the 5% difference.
Right. That's 5%.
Versus taking the steps to understand that your 95% programming is still going to win tomorrow.
And it's all unconscious. And you really don't have a lot of control over it, but you can change it. You can change the perspective. You can change your beliefs. You can change your identity. So this is what's very important, right? The unconscious mind is very powerful. It's very literal, and it's very, very, very efficient. Meaning it takes in about 2 million bits of information per second. 2 million bits, right? This is why we have the dad reflex or whatever, because it's taking in that information, but it's only pushing relevant information to your conscious mind. And its number one priority is self-preservation, meaning the unconscious mind is meant to protect you. It's meant to ensure that you're safe. It's called neuroception. So it takes in 2 million bits of information, and then this little thing called the RAS, because we're probably going to talk about it, the Reticular Activating System, it takes in that information, it filters it, and then it pushes. I want you to picture a circle. The circle on the bottom is your unconscious mind. The circle on the top is your conscious mind. The unconscious mind takes in 2 million bits of information per second. And then there's this bundle of nerves called the RAS, and this RAS pushes that relevant information up from one circle to the next, and that's your conscious mind. And your conscious mind can only take in about 7 bits of information. So the camera is black. I see red marker over there and on a white marker board. So I can only take in that information, right? And this is very important because we're going to talk about how all this stuff ties in together. Make sense?
Yeah, let's talk about how it shows up.
Yeah. So go ahead. I don't mean to step on you.
No, it's all good. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, so just to kind of riff on that, this is very important because you can shape how you see reality, right? By working on your identity, working on the beliefs, right? All that good stuff. But this is very important to notice, right? This is very important to understand because the RAS, you have to understand the RAS. So girl dads, listen up. The Reticular Activating System that bridges the gap from your conscious to your unconscious mind is very important because you take in information in your unconscious mind and this RAS pushes it to your conscious mind, right? I want you to think of, it's the new car paradox. When you buy a new car, you see that new car everywhere. I just bought a Palisade a couple months ago and now I see Palisades everywhere. Why? Because that information is relevant to me, right? So the unconscious mind is very efficient. It's the goal getter. Your conscious mind is the goal setter. Your unconscious mind, anything that's relevant to you or that's significant in your life, what will happen is it'll pull relevant data, relevant information in your environment and put it to your conscious mind. That's 7 bits per second. Now, here's what's important. When you're telling yourself, here's how it manifests in your life negatively to your daughter. When you're telling yourself that your daughter's manipulative, when she's a brat, when she's spoiled, when she's bad, etc., your unconscious mind takes this literally, and then it all information coming into you, it filters it and it pushes all relevant information to your conscious mind to support that label that you put on your daughter. This is why this is full circle here.
This is called confirmation bias, by the way. You're confirming the bias that you've created. And no parent willingly would want to confirm that their child is bad, that they're manipulative, that they're less than, that they're not worthy, that they, and unknowingly, because this is not mainstream.
Yep.
This is not mainstream health that this shit goes unnoticed.
Yeah, people don't talk about this shit.
People don't talk about this shit.
It's confirmation bias, right? And Rich hit it on the head. And what happens is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Your unconscious mind pushes that relevant information, and all you see is your daughter as the behavior.
Yep.
Your daughter is the behavior. You can't separate the two. My daughter is
bad,
selfish, bad, etc. Whatever label you want to, messy,
annoying.
whatever label you want to apply. Your daughter is no longer the daughter. She's the behavior. She's the thing now. And then all that information, that confirmation bias kicks in. And then it's a self-feedback loop of confirmation bias and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because all you see is you go down this spiral loop and it keeps getting confirmed, and that belief gets stronger, the resolve gets stronger, the belief gets stronger, and everything you keep saying, and then before you know it, you're so disconnected from your daughter, you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
Dude, how many dads do you meet that talk about their child's less of a name and less of a person, but more of a behavior?
Oh yeah, dude.
How's being a girl dad?
Dude,
she's hard.
That happened yesterday.
She's a teenager.
Yep.
Right? It's
Dude,
just like,
it happened yesterday. I'm like, hey, how's your daughter? How is she? And he's like, oh, angry and manipulative and, all this other stuff, which, maybe she may do
she's
those
responding
behavior
that
qualities.
Way,
but that's just probably the most relevant, because that's her probably most, strongest trait. I'm not trying to like bash on anybody here, but it's relevant, So anyways, let's move on. So, unconscious mind. Let's talk about the unconscious mind, right? Because this one is the most powerful. This one is this is the captain of the ship. It's quietly operating in the background, and you have no idea that is manipulating, and it is controlling your life, right? So, its prime directive is self-preservation, it's survival, and it's efficiency. It's designed to save energy and by running patterns automatically. So, I want you to understand this. Your unconscious mind is the most loyal employee you have. It will do exactly what you've trained it to do, right? And it will do this over and over and over again until you consciously give it a new job. Understood? So, if this episode's hitting you, if any of this stuff is resonating for you, do us a favor, whatever platform you're watching on, give us a follow, give us a like, whatever you can do to help support this channel, because we want to impact as many girl dads as we can. This is our mission, okay? And I want to talk about the conscious mind. Rich, do you want to talk about the conscious mind?
Right, the yin and the yang. So we talked about the unconscious mind. Let's talk about the conscious mind. This is, if you've read Napoleon Hill's book, the
Outwitting the Devil.
Outwitting the Devil. We said Devil Wears Prada earlier with Tony, and all I could think about was, it's called The Devil Wears Prada, and I'm like, no, that wasn't enough. Napoleon Hill book.
It's a great movie with Glenn Close.
Exactly. So he describes it as the designer, and so this we really want to define the conscious mind as the designer, and this is the hero of your story as a father. This is the part of us that we can see, that we get the decision to choose, and that we can build the future of our leadership and us as a father that ultimately will create the legacy that lives long, long after us in our daughters.
Yep.
So this is truly your awareness, right? This is being aware. This is your conscious mind. When we talk about unconscious versus conscious, the conscious is a father who's awoken, right? It's a father who is now aware of the little areas in his life and in his fatherhood journey where he's not fixated. He's able to separate who he is from the behavior,
Yep.
but he's able to objectively look at the behavior itself, right?
Yep.
How he showed up in certain situations, whether that resonates with the version of him as a father that he truly wants to be an example of.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It's awareness. It's you're aware. You can pull yourself in third person and see yourself interacting in the world, right? But this is very important because Rich hit it on the head. It's the choice. This consciousness is choice. These are the conscious aware. These are the choices we make, right?
And we're going to talk about this because the unconscious is less about choice. It's more automatic.
It's automatic.
The conscious is a choice.
Right.
All decision lives in conscious.
Right.
Unconscious is programming, meaning the decision has already been made.
The decision's been made.
Now, we through this whole, we will share the techniques because there is a way you can change your unconscious programming through conscious effort. However, it is not the process that most men talk about. Here's a clue.
Yeah.
If you have ever spoken with someone who you're trying to go a little bit deeper and you're trying to really kind of take an introspective look at the world and you're just struggling to have conversation where someone else is pouring into that, you're likely in front of someone who is not at a place to have a conscious conversation where you are. They're operating from unconscious, so it's what feels good, what's comfortable, what is reactionary, what happened yesterday.
Yep.
Versus a conscious conversation is one where you're going introspective. You're starting to shine the light on behaviors and you're starting to analyze just based on auditing, really. Just having an awareness of how we operate and whether that coincides with the world the way we want to operate within it or not.
Absolutely. And the conscious mind is the prime directive. That's the one that's giving the orders. And the unconscious mind will take that and run with it. And this is why it's so important. This 5% can dictate what the 95% does.
Exactly.
It can do that. And this is the shift. This is the paradigm that I want you to see, is that this is a muscle and it takes time and it takes exercise. Most of the shit that you see on Instagram, the breathing techniques, all this shit, these are great tools, but they don't change you fundamentally as an individual. It doesn't tell your unconscious brain what to do next. It just calms your nervous system. But then 2 minutes later, when your toddler's fucking screaming again or your daughter rolls her eyes, you're triggered again.
Yeah, or your teenager slams the door or shuts you out or steals the car keys again.
Right.
It can put you, that 95% can show right back up. The directive, right? The conscious part of your mind is responsible for growth and creation.
Exactly.
And that is exactly that is one of the core pillars of what we're building here at First Hero, is we want fathers to be empowered to grow and create the legacy and the relationship with their daughters that their wildest dreams are built around.
100%.
And we want to raise that standard so high with the concept of you showing up as a first hero for your daughter that it blows all standards away. And it's all of us in pursuit of that. And it starts with being conscious.
Conscious awareness, a choice.
Moving into a choice. Taking a decisive action and deciding that, first off, I think you have to be pretty bold to be able to step out of an unconscious life, right? And step into a conscious one. Because, dude, it's uncomfortable.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
You know what's uncomfortable? You know what's most uncomfortable, at least I've experienced, and I feel like I've witnessed as a witness of people navigating whether they want to operate unconsciously or consciously. I think it's the fact that to operate consciously, you have to take a lot more accountability and you have to take a lot more ownership.
Yep. You have to look in the mirror.
You have to look in the mirror. It's going to be uncomfortable because you're almost definitely, let's just be honest, dads, you're not going to like what you see.
Yeah.
There's going to be aspects of you that are not going to be awesome, that are going to be less than your standard, that are going to be far less than what you would picture your daughter's first hero to exemplify. And that's exactly why this is important, because you have to be strong, right? You have to be able to stand firm on the grounds of your mind and at the gates of your thoughts. And this conscious version of you is the only person standing between all of the old programming of your unconscious mind, all the bad habits, all the bad programming, all the bad parenting, all the bad experiences, all the bad feelings. You are the only person standing in between all of that, and ultimately your daughter inheriting the same type of abuse, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, that you had to endure as well.
The negative cycles. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And I invite you to lean into it. You might feel shame. You might feel embarrassment. That's okay. Feel it. And let's do something about it. Feel the shame, feel the embarrassment. And that's okay, because we're all here, dude. Like, we are all literally starting from here. Like, this is a journey. So let's do something about it, right?
The conscious mind is the CEO of your life, but for most men, the CEO is asleep at the desk, and the company is being run entirely by an intern who is just trying not to get fired. So the battle between these two minds, it shows up in your fathering style. And the Girl Dad Quiz is the diagnostic tool, and it will show you which mind is currently running your home. Go take it. The link is in the description of wherever you're watching this right now, description or
bio,
show notes.
Details, whatever. Yeah.
So if any of this is hitting you, be sure to go take the Girl Dad Quiz now. It will show you your strengths, your weaknesses, and exactly what type of daughter you are raising.
All right. Let's talk about how to rewire the brain, because there's a way to do this. There's a way to do this, and we're going to break down just a couple of tips, tricks. This isn't a diagnostic tool for your unconscious mind. This isn't like we're giving you the exact steps. This is a very broad overview.
Three simple steps.
Now, Rich and I, it gets a lot more complex than this, especially if you're in coaching with one of us. I have very complex systems to break all this stuff down, but right now, this is what you can take. This is actionable stuff that you can take and start implanting into your unconscious mind. It's just, if you use AI, these are just prompts. If you think about AI, dude, like, I have these thoughts sometimes. It's like everything's a prompt.
It is a prompt.
It's like fucking wild, dude.
It's exactly how life works.
I'm prompting my unconscious mind, and I'm making it, giving it a new directive, right? So, like, wild. Anyways,
different episode.
Yeah, different episode. We can go down the rabbit hole there. But hey, this is how to rewire your brain, right? Now, it starts with awareness, right? And this is what this podcast is for. This is what all this stuff is for, is awareness, right? I want you to notice patterns. I want you on your next car ride, on your next drive home from work, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. And if you work from home, schedule 10 minutes to just kind of go through all your patterns, all the behavior that you do that you don't like. Or if you don't mind it, try and find patterns that you justify. My daughter yelled at me, so I yelled. That's just how she needs to learn a lesson. I would question you on that. I need to spank my kid, because that's how they learn. I would question you on that. That is a pattern. That is something that is not, we don't need to be doing. So bringing awareness to that, right? And we need you to wake up. The second is to make a choice, right? You deliberately choose a different action. Now, this isn't always easy. It's simple. It's not easy, right? And I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to share an anecdote, right? Your unconscious mind is screaming at you to do something. Do this because you're unsafe. Don't listen to it. Now, the third time is repetition. So mastery is all about repetition, immersion, and modeling proven practices. To master the unconscious mind, you need repetition. You need to do this over and over. You need immersion. You need to immerse yourself in this. You need to relentlessly work towards this. And then you need to model proven practices. So what is the proven practices? Well, we got a lot of them, but I'm going to share. Hey, Girl Dad, listen up. I'm going to share the biggest tip, the biggest piece of advice that I can give you to rewire your nervous system so you stop yelling, stop screaming, stop ignoring. I'm going to share it with you. It's visualization techniques. And don't say, oh my God, Corey, meditation, visualization techniques. And here's why it's important. If you've listened to this podcast episode, the unconscious mind can't tell the difference between a lived experience or a real experience or a thought. So the biggest shift that I've made in my parenting, you can ask my wife, the biggest shift I made in my parenting was taking 10 minutes a day and doing visualization exercises of my behavior that I didn't like, yelling, shouting, dismissing, avoiding. What I would do is I would replay these scenarios, events in my life that I didn't like, that I wanted to work on. And instead of telling myself what not to do, say, hey, Corey, I'm not going to yell, I'm not going to be angry, I tell myself what I'm going to do. And then in that scenario, I rewrite what happened. My daughter screamed. I was patient. I got down to one knee and said, hey, this is what we're going to do, et cetera, et cetera. And I did that over and over and over and over for 10 minutes. And what that does is that rewrites your programming in your unconscious mind. So the next time it happens, you've been in the mental gym, bro. Your body just reacts in a more positive way. That is the number one key. And that's I'll give this away for free.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's start landing the plane, dude. And
Yeah,
let's
man.
just talk about legacy for a second. Because really this is how it's done, right?
Yep.
The legacy, your wiring in your head, Dad, the wiring that you allow to win the conversations and the way you show up for your daughter, that is creating the world around her. And that is the world that she will either trust and be willing to build and flourish in, or it will be the world that she is terrified of and she's constantly walking on eggshells and she is struggling to navigate. So we get to choose. And your nervous system is contagious, right? Your daughter's nervous system is learning how to operate by watching ours as fathers.
Yep.
And if you're a drifter mind, right, is in charge, then you're constantly reactive. You're constantly anxious. You're constantly going to shut down. You are wiring her to do the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the arena. This is the battle. This is what this is all for, dude. Learning all this stuff, waking up. This is what it's for, right? Your daughter is creating a model of the world, no matter how old she is. This is who people are. This is how people act, right? You are modeling masculinity for her, how men show up, right? How men are supposed to show up, right? How the battle of these two minds takes over your behavior. This is what you're teaching her, right? This is the generational impact of being a girl dad. This is what legacy means. It's not what you leave for your children, it's what you leave in them. And passing down the self-awareness of the unconscious and conscious mind is probably the greatest gift that we can give you that you can pass down to your daughter. The work you do to put your designer mind in charge is not just for you. You are literally breaking the cycle. You're interrupting the faulty programming that was handed to you so you can hand down a new operating system to her. Now, if any of this stuff lands, if any of this stuff has landed for you, girl dad, I'm telling you right now, if any of this stuff has hit you or landed, or if we've created any epiphany with this, we've created a diagnostic tool for you. It's the girl dad type quiz. It takes 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes. It will show your strengths, your weaknesses, your blind spots, how you parent, how to parent better. And we've got a ton of free PDFs and a bunch of other free tools for you after you take the test, right? So it takes 2 to 5 minutes. The link is somewhere in our bio detail or somewhere around this video. I urge you, this is worth it. This is probably the most important 2 to 5 minutes you can ever do for your girl. So let's do the hot take, man.
Let's do it.
I got a quote for you.
Cool.
All right. And this one was pretty relevant. I mean, dude, I read this and I'm like, dude, this is pretty dope. This is a good one. Okay. Watch your thoughts. They become your words. Watch your words. They become your actions. Watch your actions. They become your habits. Watch your habits. They become your character. Watch your character. It becomes your destiny. Ooh, so good. That was from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu.
Lao Tzu?
Yeah.
Well, Lao Tzu, I agree with you too.
Yeah. I agree with you too.
I think that that's a roadmap, dude. You know, it's a roadmap.
Dude, it is, right?
It's if you're into coaching or if you're a business owner, I mean, if you are into diagnosing anything, you're looking for
breadcrumbs.
You're looking for breadcrumbs, but you're also looking for areas of focus.
Yeah.
And that you can reverse engineer
right.
as a father honestly, as a human being, to be able to identify where the lapse is, where the
Yeah.
breakdown is.
Yeah.
And so for me, I mean, all of that is true, dude. I can't, I said that, I think that's said beautifully.
Yeah.
But I would say that just brings me to recognize that that's a roadmap. And for any of us that feel that there is improvement to be had, which if you're listening to this, you're right there with us. There's always improvement to be had.
Yeah.
And so this is a roadmap for us.
Yeah. Right on, man. So closing reflection, just want to end with this. Something that hit me pretty hard, right? There are two men inside of you, the man you were programmed to be and the man you were born to become. One is a drifter, the other is a designer. One is a ghost of the past, the other is the architect of the future. Every single day you choose which one gets to be her father. Remember, distraction is the enemy, breaking the cycle is your duty, and legacy is the only thing you leave behind. And you are one decision away from becoming the first and best hero that your daughter deserves. Bingo. All right.